done it! I cannot believe it! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again!
Hello everyone, we are Through on Goal, a podcast where we talk about football and pretty much nothing else. My name is Sam, and as always I'm joined by my co-host and best friend, still my best friend, Elliot. Hello Elliot.
Hello,
how you doing?
yes, I'm good. Football has returned in the UK and it couldn't be better, could it? Well, the games could be better, but
Couple
it's
of games
back.
could be. Yes, exactly right. We've got VAR controversy. We've got goal line technology failing. We've got keeper mistakes, and that's just 42 minutes into the first game. It's just
you've missed it, haven't you?
We've missed it all.
Yeah.
42 minutes in, and you're thinking, "Yep, this is it. We're back." So yes, of course, Premier League has returned. We're going to go through each of the games, just talk about moments that happened from the games. Obviously, there's some games that were a little bit poor.
Yeah.
What we just watched.
And every first half.
And every single first half. Drinks breaks, that could be interesting to talk about because it's like 13 degrees. But Championship also returned. Some interesting results happening there in the relegation fight. Sorry, Elliot. And
I'll speak to you later.
That's fine, right, end of the podcast. I'll be hosting that part by myself. Obviously got the top two dropping points, playoffs are heating up. League 2, playoffs are underway, and then we have a bit of Euro roundup to end it. A couple of transfer news that's happened during the week as well. We're watching Sheffield United versus Villa. First game back. We're excited. We're sat down on the sofa Wednesday thinking, right, here we go. Football. Yeah. Not a lot happened first half, stuff like that.
Well, for most of the first half.
42 minutes in, corner taken. No, it wasn't a corner, it was a free kick, sorry. It was a free kick whipped into the box.
Ollie
Keeper
Norwood.
looks a little bit near.
Yeah.
His own player, then he goes to catch it. Own player then runs into him. He has the ball fully behind the post.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot be any over the line. Sheffield United players, they're running around, they're celebrating. They're thinking, yes, excellent. How could that not be a goal? I'll tell you why it can't be a goal. Because technology failed.
Yeah.
What did you think?
So what was their explanation? There was too many people around the goalpost and the cameras didn't pick it up.
Oh, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, we've missed football and it comes back with controversy galore. But
yeah,
I mean, Sheffield United are massively unlucky with that.
Yes.
That is 2 points. That's not 2 points dropped. That's 2 points taken from them. Because
I completely agree, yeah.
I know, obviously, they've still got the second half to play, but I would expect them to go and see that game out and win it 1-0. That would have then put them above Man United. They'd have been up into 5th, which could potentially be a Champions League spot. We don't know.
No.
And yeah, it's been taken from them because the technology isn't working.
The thing is with goal line technology is that when it happens, you always get that, at the very point where the ball is at its furthest over the line, and then you get that graphic that kind of comes in over the top, and then it shows like no goal, zooms in.
Yes.
That didn't happen, and as soon as that didn't happen, I'm looking at it thinking, what's happened there? Yeah. And then all you've got to do is quickly scroll through Twitter and think, oh my god. That clearly crossed. And even watching it, I'm thinking there's a picture of him literally. What's the keeper's name?
Nyland.
Nyland. That's it. Yeah. He's got the ball in his clutches right behind the goal, and he's looking like, oh, whoops. I've made a mistake here. Referees going, no, the watch didn't tell me. The watch, just look at it. He's behind the goal. How are you saying, oh no, the watch didn't tell me? Look at your eyes. And here's another one as well. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm passionate about this subject.
Yeah. I understand.
The linesman's got to have a view of that going over, I think, because I know the cameras didn't pick it up, but you've got to have a look. What happened before goal line technology? What were the linesmen doing? What's VAR doing?
Yes.
Sod all.
So on that, I think I saw they had 62 seconds from when the ball crossed the line to when there was a restart in play, so they could no longer have looked at it from VAR. So they had 62 seconds where it could have been stopped and they could have looked at it. And I don't know who it was who was in Stockley Park on that game, but they probably had the same thought that I did, that, okay, if it hasn't come up on the watch, I trust the technology.
Credit to the goal. This is the first time I've ever known it fail. Goal line technology has genuinely been flawless, I think, since it's come in. So, yes, I get that, but he's behind the post.
Yeah.
And
at least stop the game and have a look at it. If there's any sort of any doubt, just say to the ref, look, we're going to hold the game for a minute. Like I think Chris Wilder made the point after the game that they're waiting around in the rain for near on 10 minutes away at Spurs for one of their players to be offside by a toenail. Why couldn't they have waited around 10 minutes at Villa Park to see if
a goal
happened, which did?
Exactly. Yes. So I don't know how true the rumours were. It was something that was floated about. I think the commentator said it on Sky Sports. Apparently, when the referee was inside his dressing room, his watch started to go off to say it was a goal. Yeah. Now, I don't know about the rules and stuff. It's difficult because obviously it's not in play. At half time, it's not in play. The game is finished half time. But can you not see that the technology has clearly failed and that ball is very clearly over the line? Mm-hmm. Can nothing be done up?
No.
Can nothing be done?
I understand that. Like, with something that's related to Villa as well, I can't remember whether it was last year or the season before, where they played away at Leeds United. There was that whole thing going on about because they scored when they should have kicked the ball back to Leeds United. So Marcelo Bielsa said, okay, we're going to let them score a goal. Now, I know Villa are in a relegation fight. The amount of money that relegation will cost a club is enormous.
Especially in today's environment.
Exactly. And is it the kind of thing that Dean Smith could have gone in at half-time and said, I know this is a big goal if we concede it, but by sort of sportsmanship, do we let them have it? But I can understand why they didn't do it, because they're fighting for their lives down the bottom.
If Villa are mid-table, maybe, maybe, but I do get it. That was Villa's game in hand to get out of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, yes, obviously selfishly they want to stay up. In the end, obviously they got a 0-0 draw from it. Nothing, obviously second half, nothing really too much happened after that. So it was just frustrating to know, we know for sure that it was done and over the line.
Yeah.
But obviously sat here thinking, I'd love to know the reaction if the crowds were there, because they show replays on the TV. So if they'd shown replays of that on the TV with the crowd there, I reckon I would have gone mental. Yeah. Well, obviously the away end anyway. But you look at it, before goal line technology, there were teams relegated with stuff like this.
Yeah. I remember. Well, it's not even goal line technology, but VAR. I remember Cardiff were very unlucky because VAR hadn't come into force last season.
Yeah.
I particularly remember a game against Chelsea at Cardiff where there are a couple of decisions that went against them, and those couple of points could be the difference between staying up and going down.
Yeah. But obviously Sheffield United didn't go on to win the game, didn't go on to get the point. Game after that was, a big one in terms of keeping the title race alive. Sure.
Yeah,
let's
if you want to say that.
More, I think the red side of Mersey was definitely Arsenal that day.
Yeah.
Arsenal are not very good.
I think that's fair to say.
That's not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. We do try and stay as unbiased. On here we talk about or we try. Well, there may be some things that slip out. Arsenal are just they're not good.
I just feel like a lot of their team they're too nice. Like there's no kind of fight in them. Yeah, I remember Troy Deeney saying something before that a striker like him who's really physical and really tough in with players, he loves playing against Arsenal because he knows he's going to be first to every ball.
Yeah.
And no one's going to sort of give him it back.
I don't think Aubameyang is a captain.
No, he's a goal.
There's something about making. There's something that I just don't agree with when your best player is captain because he's your best player.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that.
Particularly a best player that seems to have gone public and saying that he wants to leave.
He's pretty much common knowledge. I think he's. Well, he said that the next contract he signs is going to be like his most important because that will probably be the last long term.
The last mega
or something like that, isn't
it?
Yeah.
He's a goal scorer, but is he a leader? I don't think so.
I don't think so. And obviously there was an incident in their Saturday game, which we'll get to in regards to maybe potentially being some sort of leader. Man City won that comfortably, though. They were very comfortable on the ball.
That game,
and I think that started. I think the reason why they were so comfortable happened 28 minutes, I think, into the game when Arsenal made a certain substitution.
Yes, because up until the moment where Mr. David Luiz came on the pitch, to be fair to Arsenal, they were looking quite comfortable. They were sort of dealing with Man City, they were handling them, and to be fair, they weren't looking much of a threat on the attack, but it didn't look like they were going to concede very soon. And then David Luiz comes on, and he's got to be up there as having one of the worst matches in recent times.
Yes, I agreed. He tried to clear it with his knee, went backwards, Sterling scored, and then he gave away quite a clear penalty, which they scored from. He got a straight red card. Now, I haven't got too many stats on David Luiz. Elliot, I think you have a few stats on David Luiz.
Yes, I do love a good stat. So I've got 3 stats. The first of which is the penalty that he gave away for the second goal. He has equalled the Premier League record for the most amount of penalties conceded in a single season of 4. The 3 other players who he shares that record with are Ibrahima Sonko, 2007-8.
Oh, yeah, I remember him, yeah.
Gary Caldwell of 2011-12.
Oh, right.
And
Blackpool.
It might have been at Wigan at the time.
Oh, right, okay.
And Jose Fonte, 2016-17. I'm trying to think
Right.
whether that would have been at Southampton or West Ham, but
Right, yeah.
either way, it's not a great record to hold. He
No, of
is
course not.
the first player since 2015 to be sent off, concede a penalty, and commit an error leading to an opposition goal in a Premier League match since Carl Jenkinson for West Ham against Bournemouth in August 2015. And to make it even better, the last time that a player was sent off, conceded a penalty, and committed an error leading to an opposition goal in the same game after coming on as a substitute within the top 5 European leagues was in March 2011 when Ivan Cordoba for Inter did it against Brescia in Serie A. That's 9 years. It's quite the record.
It's quite a record. Sorry, very quick disclaimer. Gary Caldwell never played for Blackpool. Don't know what I was talking about there. I think, from when David Luiz came on, Man City did look very, very comfortable. He didn't look very assured. One person to note though in the Arsenal team is Tierney at left back, coming into centre back. He very good.
Yes,
played very, very well.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a lot of him since signing for Arsenal. He's sort of been in and out of injuries. Then obviously there's been the suspension in play kind of thing. But yeah, he was the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah. Which is, a lot. But no, as I said, Man City basically needed to win to keep that title race alive, or at least to stop Liverpool from winning the league in their next game.
To cut down the 25-point gap.
Which, to be fair, they did, because Liverpool had a chance to win against Everton today. Oh, sorry.
So 2 things to say on this. One of which, we're recording later than usual because with the Merseyside derby being such a big game, that we need to wait to see it out to then record. Yeah. Well, we shouldn't have done that. And second of all, I've saw a brilliant tweet at halftime, which still sort of stays true to full time, of I'm glad today is the longest day because that was 45 minutes wasted.
It wasn't a good game, was it? There was nothing.
It almost came to life in the 80th minute when Everton had a couple of chances, but apart from that,
Richarlison, didn't he? He came down. Calvert-Lewin had a little bit of a flick. Alisson scrambled it a little bit. I felt like he maybe could have done better. And Davis came around, flicked it onto the post, cleared. That was about it, I think, from what I remember.
Yeah, I know Liverpool were missing a few players and kind of had a couple more injuries throughout the game, but they weren't looking their normal self.
Really missed Robertson, I feel. Really missed Robertson down that left.
Yeah, because it was becoming a bit too obvious that their only creativity was coming from down the right, and that's easy to play against. And
Coleman had a fantastic game, didn't he? Like against Mane and Origi.
He kept Mane quiet. I barely heard him mentioned today. But
no, that's right. He had a fantastic game.
I would say that was the worst of the games so far.
Just having a quick look at the list of games. Yes.
Yeah,
that was quick. Yes, obviously, it's still very much Liverpool's title. Mm-hmm. Nothing you can't take away from that. And I think you can tell that was definitely both their first games back. Yeah, you could kind of see that in the game as well. Because when you look at most of the games, quite a few of the teams, it was their second game, so they had a bit more of a going. Obviously, this is being their first, and it was interesting. Salah didn't play or even come on.
No,
I thought that was quite interesting.
He must be a little bit short of match fitness, surely.
But 20 minutes towards the end to make some sort of impact. Would you not think?
I agree. Unless it is simply he's not fit, but you put him on the bench just to kind of maybe affect how Everton approach the game. Yeah, but
Liverpool need is it 5 points to win the league now?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Can they do it midweek, but only if Man City drop points on Monday?
It's something like that.
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
I want that title winning game to come at Man City v Liverpool, because that will be the stakes in that game. Hopefully. Do you reckon, let's say Arsenal beat Man City, do you reckon that would have been a different game today?
I think it probably would have. I think there'd have been a bit more intensity from Liverpool because they would have wanted to win it away at their arch rivals.
Yeah, and I think Everton probably would have been 33% possession. I think it was towards the end, or that was it around the 70th, 80th minute. It was they played quite defensively there. I said, it's still Liverpool's title. Everton, I think, are quite comfortable where they are. Nothing really to gain, nothing really to lose, I think.
But although it was quite an underwhelming game, what you still have to remember is that's only the third game that Liverpool have dropped points this season.
Yeah, that's right.
And to be fair to Everton, they dug in, and it's a good result for them.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's definitely, of course, it's definitely a better result for Everton, but they'll come away from that feeling a bit better. I do think a derby like that really misses that atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely. If that was a packed out crowd, I think that would have probably benefited Everton a bit more. Because if you've got 30, 40,000 people that are desperate not to see Liverpool win, it might have sort of swung it in their favour. But
no, I agree. It's different, especially with Sky's. Do you watch it with the audio or not?
So I do watch it with the audio.
Yeah, I do too. I think it just feels a bit better.
It just feels a little bit more sort of authentic, really. But
They
do mess it up a little bit, don't they?
Oh my word! The ball could be in row Z, and all of a sudden everyone will start cheering, and then there'll be what?
I think there was a Richarlison snapshot which went about 30 yards over the bar, and whoever was on the audio had it like Everton had just won the Champions League, the World Cup, and the Europa League all in one.
They're tense, I think, there with this crowd, aren't they? They're like, someone's had a shot. Score? No, they didn't score. They're thinking every shot goes in.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the sound person had it spot on with the Sheffield Villa game, because I'm pretty sure the crowd, pretty sure they cheered when that went in.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there. I think there was a game where I was just on my phone, just scrolling through. Yeah. And then the crowd cheered, and then when I looked up, I think they're showing the first replay of the goal. So I didn't see.
Just got out for a throw-in or something.
Yeah. So Liverpool's next game obviously is against Palace midweek.
Yes.
Which will be, again, I think, every game's significant for Liverpool as long as Man City could drop points.
Yeah.
So we've got here on our list. So basically, before every podcast, we make a list of the notes that we're going to do, what we're going to talk about, main talking points. Now, we've got Tottenham versus Man United on this list. However, I think the main talking point is what we've got in brackets. And what we've simply got in brackets is Roy Keane.
I am flabbergasted.
Oh, there we go. There goes the Irish viewers with this impression.
But can we just start before the game, before the halftime sort of meltdown of Roy Keane?
Meltdown, yeah.
I mean, I hope he's not listening to this because he'll have me for breakfast.
I mean, if he is, fair play.
Yeah, if he is, follow us on Twitter, Roy. But yeah, because the man's never heard of a hairbrush.
Oh, right, yeah, his haircut. Yeah.
Is that one for the Quarantrim list?
Quarantrim, it's got to be. He's on live telly. People didn't none of the production team go, Roy, yeah.
Would you tell Roy Keane?
No, do you know what? Literally, as I said it, I was just imagining myself going, Roy, your hair, and immediately
you'd be on the floor.
So, that's fine. Roy, you look how you look.
Yeah, you look amazing, Roy.
Well done, Roy. So we'll talk about that first off. Obviously, Bergwijn picked up the ball, took it past the world's most expensive defender. Let's just say that straight at De Gea, I think, top corner. Good run, I think. He kept the pace going, kept him going. He should not have turned Maguire like that, and De Gea should be saving that.
Yeah. So the thing that I found really odd with that goal is if you look at De Gea, with one hand he looks like he's going to punch it, and with the other hand he looked like he's going to palm it, and that's not a technique I've seen before, and it's clearly not a technique that works. But
no.
Yeah, I feel like someone who's in the discussion for top 5, top 10 keepers in the world should be keeping that out.
I do. I think exactly the same. It was take nothing away from like the run and shot. It was impressive. It was very good by Bergwijn. Then the very difference of opinions where there was a cross into the box. Son went and headed it across back to goal, and De Gea made, let's call it a De Gea save.
It was one for the cameras, wasn't it?
Yes.
I mean, it was a decent enough save, but it's one that you'd expect a top goalkeeper to make.
That's right, yeah, and I agree. I think I do agree with Roy Keane. That is, it's a save. You have to make that save. It's not I didn't think it was. I didn't watch it going, wow, my God, wow. I watched it going, oh yeah, fair enough, that's good, you know, it was a save. Don't think he could have caught it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
a little bit exaggerated.
When you said you agreed with Roy Keane, I thought, no, I don't think he could have caught that.
No, he definitely could have caught it, but it's a save where you think, well, yeah, that's
it's a decent enough save. Yeah, it's fair enough.
Save. I said Lloris had one in the second half, which I think was better because it was on the turn and the reflexes were a bit better there. But Roy Keane does not like Harry Maguire, David De Gea, does he?
He made that blaringly obvious at the half-time break.
He did not hold back. That's my favourite thing.
I'd be throwing punches.
Leave him on. What did he say? Don't let him on the bus. Let him get a taxi.
Let him get a taxi back to Manchester.
And I understand his passion towards it. Obviously, Maguire, I think, should not be getting turned like that.
No, I think he should be doing better than that.
That was very poor there. And he made it very, very abundantly clear that. And yes, he's one of my, I think, real talking points from what he said. Yes, in his very thick Irish accent.
Irish
accent. Oh God, you've got me going.
Yeah.
I try and stay clear of the impressions, apart from my classic Sean Dyche last week. Was he thinks that he's probably one of the most overrated goalkeepers of the past he's seen in a while.
Well, I wouldn't disagree.
I'm finding it very hard to disagree with him.
Yeah.
Now, when De Gea turns it on,
he's made some fantastic saves.
He has been, I don't think it's too hard, but he's definitely been United's best keeper since, in a very, very long time. However, he's just making mistakes. He's just making very easy mistakes to make that you don't expect from a goalkeeper of his, caliber. And when you think about it, and you think about him, I don't think he can do any wrong in Man United's eyes.
Yeah,
and that's sometimes quite dangerous, so to speak.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people at United see the De Gea of 5 years ago rather than the De Gea that we've watched recently. But this sort of scathing review of De Gea has come in the same week that a goalkeeper, which we both think is the best in the world, Jan Oblak, has become the quickest goalkeeper to reach 100 clean sheets in La Liga. He's got 100 clean sheets in 182 games. And
wow.
Yeah, I know he obviously has got a well-drilled defence in front of him, but I think I would have Oblak over De Gea every day of the week.
Or interestingly enough that you say that, we put a poll out on our Twitter, TO Goal Podcast. Please give us a follow. Who would Man United fans like to see between the sticks next season, De Gea or Henderson? And Henderson won that with 58% of the votes that they want Henderson in goal next season. What do you think?
Last week we covered this and I said that if I was in charge at Man United, I would.
You wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Yeah, yeah, I'd have sold out long ago. No,
you wouldn't know who I was.
But yeah, I'd tie down Henderson to as long a deal as I can persuade him, and I would look to sell De Gea and try and reinvest that in the squad.
But again, in a race for Champions League, for both teams, that's points dropped. Obviously, Tottenham looked quite solid, I think, most of the game.
Yeah.
But legs. Boy, could you see legs in that Tottenham team. Yeah. They just started to go. And then United, Pogba came on and completely changed the game.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he was looking quite fresh, wasn't he? He was...
Yeah.
You could tell he was sort of a level above pretty much everybody else in the pitch. I think a midfield with Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, and maybe like a McTominay. I know he's not on the same level as the other two, but
no,
that is a dangerous midfield.
Yeah, I just felt Sky Sports getting so excited when Bruno and Pogba were linking up, and I was like, oh, there are all the headlines. Yeah. He did really make a difference, though. That's the thing. And he might start the next game. We might even see a starting lineup with Fernandes and Pogba, and Rashford looked quite good. He was keeping up the pace. Martial was a bit, quite quiet in the game. Dan James again was a little bit quiet. I don't think he made quite an impact as he did. And another one to note as well, that was Kane's first game since New Year's Day.
Right.
I think it showed.
Yes.
He was quite out of the game a lot.
I think they said in the first half he'd had the least touches of any player. And
I think give him some time. But what the difficulty is that we haven't really seen a Kane under Mourinho properly.
Yes.
What he's going to look like.
Yeah.
Looking at the formation towards the end, Kane was like centre mid.
Yeah, he was
and Son
dropping
was semi-pushing off.
deep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I don't know if that's a Kane thing, because I know Kane does like to hold back a bit, and his passing ability is severely underrated, I think.
Yes.
He can really find a pass. And he does do that sometimes. He kind of goes back on the halfway line, have a look, and find a pass down the wing. However, he seemed to play a lot deeper than normal this game.
I seem to remember in the 2018 World Cup that Kane kind of did a similar thing late on in games, because we'd be up by 1 goal and he'd always drop back, and you're thinking you want Kane in the box, you want him on the penalty spot, 6-yard box, just to be finishing it. Whereas I know he's got that sort of passing ability, but he's a striker first and foremost.
That's it. He's a finisher.
You want him to score goals.
Exactly right. Yeah, you need him up there.
Yeah.
I think Tottenham. Do you reckon Tottenham maybe missed Ali a little bit, creativity wise, maybe?
Potentially. I mean, they potentially missed a Jose Mourinho Ali. I don't think a Pochettino Ali of the last season or two has been missed.
No, I hear you.
But yeah, because I remember Ali sort of started to hit a little bit of form just before we went into lockdown. So it'd be interesting to see how he comes back after that 1 game ban that he got.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Coming on to Saturday, this is it. It was my first weekend off in 2 weeks, so that was a good start to my first weekend off. Just football.
Yes.
One of the biggest games to happen on that Saturday was Brighton v Arsenal. Now, Arsenal going into this game, they've had 90 minutes under their belt. Granted, they lost, but refresh.
Yeah.
Here we go. Brighton's first game. Let's get at them.
Also, can we mention it's a David Luiz less Arsenal? So positives.
Well, not for Brighton, but positives for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Leno injury.
Because we've had a disagreement on this.
I've had a semi-disagreement on this. Yeah, we try to keep our football chat to a semi-minimum when when it's on.
Yeah,
because we want to really talk about it on here. But it was something that we had to talk about briefly, I think.
Yeah. So I don't see anything wrong with it. What Neil Maupay's done, to be honest. I know he's gone late into Leno, but you think of kind of a weak goalkeeper, maybe like a mentally weak goalkeeper. He's not coming out. He's not sort of demanding the ball. You see a lot of goalkeepers nowadays coming out with their feet raised, so that if anyone clatters them, they're kind of the aggressor. They're not going to get hurt. They're going to hurt somebody else. And he's not done that. Neil Maupay's gone into him, kind of just shake him up. One of those let them know you're there kind of challenges.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Leno, it's the way he lands. I think it's his knee, isn't it? It's his leg, and it's not.
Well, they didn't show when they don't show replays. That's when you think,
it's bad.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's not a nice one to look at. But he's unfortunate with how he falls. But Maupay is one of those players that is physical. He's not going in to hurt anyone, but he's going to leave something on a goalkeeper, on a defender, and it's for that player to leave one on him to kind of shake him up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't be thinking it should be a red card like some Arsenal fans have suggested.
No. Unless you're Joey Barton, I don't think any player or Roy Keane, I don't think any player intends to end a man's career, basically, when they're going to challenge a ball.
Are we crossing out Joey Barton from the potential future guests list now?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And Roy Keane, that avid listener of Roy Keane.
If you are listening, Roy.
It's replays. When you watch replays and when you see still images, they're two completely different scenarios, I think. It's so there's images of Leno that does have the hand on the ball, but obviously you can't see the momentum that Maupay's going. Yeah. Yes, he definitely. See, I've semi-flipped it a bit.
Okay.
Not all the way, but you see stuff like that, in the middle of the pitch when someone goes up for a goal kick, when someone goes up for a header, or when it's going out for a throw, you see a bit of a shoulder barge or something. You see that, leave a little on them, be like, I'm here. And obviously, the fact that it's led to an injury, I think, is why it's become a hell of a lot more of a talking point than it has.
Yes.
Because if Leno just catches it, comes to the ground, referee goes, whistle, free kick to Arsenal, you're thinking, no, typical,
just coming together. Yeah.
Let him know, just being like, I'm challenging. I think the fact that it's led to definitely season over for Leno. We're talking about it to the extent that we are. I just think. I don't know, because I kept on watching the replays. I don't think so much he maybe could have got away, but there are certain angles where you see Leno, he has the ball, and I don't think it was Maupay's I didn't look like Maupay was winning that race.
Right.
To get the ball. So in that case, you will have certain strikers that might hold off and think, oh, okay, yeah, he's got the ball, let's start again. And then you'll have certain players that are like, let's always get into him. I guess it depends on the kind of player you are, basically, I think, that situation.
Yeah.
Clearly, Arsenal, well, Guendouzi in particular, was not very happy. Yes. And I love the fact that I think one of my favourite images from that game is Leno on a stretcher, leg in a brace. Like, he's probably got half a leg, but he sits up and starts pointing at Maupay.
The Undertaker.
Yeah. He's just completely risen to give Maupay an absolute, verbal... I don't know,
an absolute earful, yeah.
And then he goes and goes back down the stretcher again. Yeah, that's it. Guendouzi, there was an Arsenal player that wasn't very happy.
Yes.
Which wouldn't surprise me if that leads to bad, because he left out a bit of an arm. Yeah. Which he made it a bit more dramatic than he did Maupay, let's be honest. But then he very clearly grabbed him by the throat at the end of the game, put him down. And of all players, now you don't want to concede a 90th minute winner. No one wants to concede it.
Yeah.
But you don't want to concede it to the player that has caused a complete meltdown.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It was a very good play. Don't get me wrong, by Brighton. It was a really good finish by Maupay.
Yeah.
And his interview after the game was very honest.
Yeah, see, I quite liked his interview.
I did, because it wasn't a typical, sorry, that's fine. No, we got the 3 points, we grinded on, we go to the next game. It was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he said that he went in... First and foremost, he went in at half-time and said to Arteta, I've not meant to injure him, wishing speedy recovery, all that kind of thing.
Yep.
But then he came out and he said second half, the Arsenal players, there's no fans, the Arsenal players were giving them verbals all second half, particularly winning. You can kind of imagine that as having been played football before. There's always going to be someone in your ear.
Yeah.
And for them to turn it round and it not just be Brighton turn it around, but Neil Maupay himself.
Yeah, yeah.
And he comes out and said they got what they deserve. Because he has injured someone. He hasn't meant it. Just a bit of sportsmanship. Like he says, a bit of humility.
That's it, yeah. So, obviously that, in terms of relegation, Brighton, that's a big win.
That's a massive win for Brighton.
Huge win. But we're in a position now for Arsenal that it's going to be tough. But if Burnley beat Man City tomorrow, well, at time I record on Monday, they may have already, I don't know. They go, Arsenal are in 11th. They're bottom half of the table. And we're talking Arsenal 11th, bottom half, technically around about March time in normal league terms. That's not Arsenal, is it?
No. So at the time, it put Arsenal down into 9th. And yeah, like you say, lower mid-table. That's not the Arsenal we grew up watching. The Henrys, the Bergkamps, Pires, Lundberg, all that kind of thing. So yeah, they went down into 9th. And to lead into the next game was Bournemouth versus Palace. Now, Palace put in a good shift. They won that, which then pushed Arsenal down into 10th. But... it was one of them of Palace looking relatively good, Bournemouth just looking poor.
Yeah. But Bournemouth, they're all but down, I think.
Yeah, I think they're destined for the Championship.
Which is, it's a shame that they've had a good run. Mm-hmm. Can't take anything away from Palace's 2 goals. Cracking free kick, top corner. The wall even, because I always look for free kicks. I always look for the wall. Yes. The wall doesn't jump. You think, it's still a good free kick, but that wall jumped and that wall went up and over. Fingertips, still couldn't keep it out. And it was really good play down the left from Palace to then square it to Ayew to then make it 2-0. But when you look at the stats, Bournemouth, stats aren't obviously everything when you watch the game, because you still got to convert the goals, but Bournemouth had more possession, they had more shots, more chances created. Only 1 shot on target, which is amazing. But they're just not finding it, and I don't know where it lies, because Callum Wilson last season was brilliant.
Yeah.
This season. Right, I like his stance on Ryan Fraser. Obviously, he's refused to sign a short-term contract, so he's gone, well, that's it, you're not playing for Bournemouth ever again then.
See you later.
I like that. That's good. That's a good start. So he only wants people committed to Bournemouth. But they just lack... They lack the end product. They just lack that final part.
Yeah, so I do think Bournemouth are destined for Championship football next season. But one kind of saving grace for them is I think they've got a good enough squad that they'll either only sell a handful of players and have enough of the current players at the moment to semi-comfortably return to the Premier League, or they'll sell a whole load of their first team players and they will have a hell of a lot of money to reinvest. You think Nathan Ake, you think Josh King, Callum Wilson, David Brooks, Philip Billing.
Yeah,
I think regardless, Ramsdale's going to stay, and I think a season in the Championship could do him a world of good. 46 games at that level could kind of toughen him up a little bit.
Well, or could turn him into a Butland.
I suppose there is that, but
No disrespect to
yeah.
Butland, obviously, but Premier League Butland and Championship Butland have been two different keepers.
But yeah, I think that I would have Bournemouth down as one of the favourites to come straight back up. I
You
think
reckon?
I think even with potentially a new manager, whatever, I think players like Josh King and Nathan Ake will leave. They're far too good for the Championship, and they're probably far too good to be in the lower sort of levels of Premier League. Yeah. And I think them combined, you can easily be getting 60, 70 million. And if you put that back into a Championship team, you could buy a squad for that and be in a good shape to go back up.
I disagree with you there.
Okay.
I think if Bournemouth go down and they do what you said, sell, I think they will be a Stoke or a Huddersfield. I think they will be mid to low table because I just can't see. It's a difficult because I still they've stayed in the Premier League for it's got to be 4 or 5 years maybe.
4 or 5. I'd say 5 years because they were in the Premier League last time Hull City were in it.
So they've been in the Premier that long, but they're always one of those teams where you think, oh God, how have they managed to stay up? Fair enough.
Yeah.
And if they would go back down again, they're a team that I think I can't see. It's when Huddersfield went back down, I was like, I don't think they're going to come back up. Stoke, I thought immediately were going to come. Their team when they first went down, that was.
I thought Stoke. I think the difference between Bournemouth and Huddersfield is I don't think Huddersfield had even a high level Championship squad in the Premier League. Whereas I think Bournemouth have got a decent enough squad. You think a season for someone like Dominic Solanke in the Championship, he could be one of those players that only scores 2 goals a season, or it could be what boosts his career.
Yeah, he could. No, that's a fair point. It'd be interesting to see. Obviously, I do believe they're going down, and if they do,
yes,
no disrespect to Bournemouth. Again, we were quite unbiased here, but I personally I'm not sure if they'll come straight back up. I think they'll hover around mid-table. Yeah. They might do again like when QPR, Stoke, Huddersfield, when all they went down, they haven't really challenged since. So yes, Friday evening, Norwich beat Southampton. Norwich could probably do with a win. I think they're down and out.
Yes,
but a win would help.
No, I think Norwich are gone really. They tried to maybe play too attacking football earlier in the season. It's kind of lost in points where if you shut up shop, you maybe get the odd point here or there. Yeah. But I think Norwich are gone.
The goals they conceded on Friday were poor goals to concede. They all came from kind of just lackluster defending. I think there wasn't really much in it.
Yeah, it was just they just kind of switched off really.
Yeah.
And with someone like Danny Ings on the pitch, I mean, he could have had
finish.
more goals. I remember, it was a fantastic finish. But in the first half, he hit the bar in one that I'm sure he'd be thinking he should have done better on. But Norwich looked beaten. They looked like they knew they were down.
Yeah, there was. I think it was Redmond's goal at the end. He kind of just literally just one touch away, hit it in the bottom corner. You just think they didn't really follow him there. And to credit to Southampton, they played very, very well. Very, very well for Southampton. That puts them up to 37 points, 3 points off Arsenal. This is a team that lost 9-0 this season. Can we just say that? However, that wasn't saying it to rub it in. But after losing like 9-0, they've gone on to win like 10 games. In that time, they've lost to Man City, but they've beaten Watford, beaten Norwich, they've beaten Villa, they've beaten Chelsea, they've beaten Tottenham, beaten Leicester, and beaten Palace. Teams that. And beating Villa again. These are teams that are most of them are in and around that relegation fight, and they're beating them.
Yeah,
and they're staying up.
Beating some decent sides. So they definitely did do the right thing by keeping hold of Ralph Hasenhüttl, and he now even signed a new contract during the lockdown.
A lot that would have been the end for a lot of managers there.
Yes,
absolute credit.
Fair play to Southampton, and it could very well be something that they build on for next season, and maybe look to get more to where Southampton were maybe 5 years ago, where they were getting those 7th or 8th places. And I'm sure we all remember the fantastic song "Southampton in Europa." Maybe we could have a 2021 version of that.
No, that's right. You're going to home us a song here? You haven't had tequila, have you?
I'm not going to hum us one, but again, as we did with the Sanderberg video, I'll put together a Southampton in Europa video because everyone loves that song.
Yeah, no doubt we'll put that together. But no, it's it was shame on Norwich. If they had won, would have put them on 24 points, which would have been 2 points behind Villa and 3 points off, outside the relegation. But
you wouldn't have, even if they'd have won that, you wouldn't have expected them to stay up, but there would have been that sort of glimmer of hope.
No, exactly. It's a shame. As I said, Norwich have been great. I think have been quite good to watch this season. Apart from on Friday, I think.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't see Norwich as being the kind of team that will come straight back up.
No one expected them to be promoted.
No,
They kind of just came out of nowhere. Yeah.
No, so I think that they'd lose their young fullbacks, that are both absolutely fantastic. I'd maybe see Cantwell moving on as well because he's been tipped to go to a lot of big clubs. Yeah. Pukki I can see staying simply because of his age and he may not have the sell-on value.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair enough.
But yeah, I think that they'd lose a handful of players and maybe not have the funds to rebuild.
Yeah. Sheffield United had a chance to get back into the 5th spot, or at least the race for the 5th spot, potential Champions League, don't know till August, against Newcastle, who at home, I don't think have scored a goal since January.
Right.
So you think it's a good chance?
Hadn't they had, was it 3 0-0s in their previous 3 games at St James's?
It hasn't been amazing.
No.
You think Joelinton goes through on goal? Sorry, shameless plug.
He kicks the... I just realised what you did.
He took a while.
He kicked the ground, didn't he?
He's a £40 million striker,
yeah.
And he kicks the ground 1-on-1 with the keeper. John Egan. Now he had he was struggling against Villa, and he struggled against Newcastle to the extent where went over. Joelinton went through. Egan pulls him back. It was his second yellow actually, wasn't it? I think he had a clash with Joelinton earlier in the
clash
game.
with Joelinton in the first half. Yeah,
he gets sent off. Could argue, did you see Joelinton in the first half? Just let him have a go.
Yeah.
Let him through. Let him have a go. But
I can't think which defender it is, but he had a defender not far from him, which was clearly coming through faster. So I think you can at least give him 20, 30 yards before bringing him down.
Yeah, he obviously gets a red card and then it just kind
fell
of...
apart.
End of Stevens. Oh. So, cross comes in from the left. He could stop it, couple of keepy ups, bicycle kick it out.
Yeah.
He's got time, basically.
Yes.
Instead, he absolutely air kicks the hell out of it. Maximum then scores a goal. Henderson, I'm not sure if he's at massive fault because I think he would be thinking what everyone was thinking.
Just
he's clearing that.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's probably
he's tried to react to a situation which he hasn't anticipated.
Yeah, so that's it. And he's reacting a lot later. And then it just kind of fell apart after that. After that goal. Which is a shame because Sheffield United have just been so good this
season.
This season. They've been so good. But then Richie scores in 6.5 minutes. And then, of all players, to then finally score his first goal since August. £40 million striker. And it's his first goal since August.
Yeah.
Joelinton then. It's an easy goal, fair enough.
But it's good for him. It might be the kind of thing that kickstarts him a little bit.
Yeah, that's it.
Just that bit of confidence in front of goal.
It wasn't in front of fans, which you could argue when Almiron scored his first goal, he kind of picked it up a bit, didn't he, towards before quarantine. So maybe this could be the beginning of Joelinton. Maybe fine. He could be fine. So when you look at the league table, yes, Sheffield United should have won. Against Villa. And if they had won this game, that would have put them onto 50 points, 1 point off Chelsea in 4th. Yeah. And it's just unlucky the first one, but they kind of fell apart. They are still 2 points off United in 5th. Let's not, they're not out of it 5th wise, 5th place wise, Europa wise. I still would, it'd be brilliant to see European football at Bramall Lane. I think they've got the fan base for it. I think it'd be really good. But boy, that you've got to rue what happened there. Yeah. And obviously Newcastle comfortable. I think they're in 13th. They're 11 points off the final relegation zone. They're pretty comfortable.
They're 2 points off Arsenal.
Oh, so they are. Yes, they are. 2 points off Arsenal, my word.
Yeah. Now, it's slightly going off a tangent, but I'm sure you've heard of the stat expected goals.
Yeah.
So there's a league table of expected goals, so expected points. Okay. So by the stats, what the result should have been. Now, Newcastle, because they play so defensive and they don't open up so much, they don't have the chances, they don't have the shots, they are actually bottom of the expected points league table. Right. So that just shows their efficiency, really, because they're maybe only getting a handful of shots a game, but they're winning games 1-0.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
They're comfortable sat mid-table. However, in the relegation battle, as it is, we had Watford, West Ham and Villa all play this weekend. And, well, Watford, I think you were watching that one. I was watching the Championship game. You were watching that one. Kind of livened up in the 90th minute.
Yeah, it was completely uneventful until about the 87th minute when Ben Chilwell hit one in from corner of the box right into the top corner.
Yeah.
Which, fantastic goal. And then about 2 minutes later, Craig Dawson. it was Craig Dawson with an overhead kick, which. Yeah, that must be the first of those. But
What that he's ever scored, yeah.
yeah, but
Can imagine.
again, it was a pretty uneventful game. It was a completely uneventful first half, which you're kind of seeing as a pattern throughout this opening week.
Yeah, definitely.
But turned out there was a couple of decent goals and it ended 1-1.
Yeah, that's right. Points dropped again for Leicester. I don't think they're... Well, obviously they're not challenging for second. I don't think, challenging for second, But I think they're nailed on for Champions League this season.
You'd like
It'd be
to
good
think
to see
so.
Leicester.
Yeah, because presuming it's only top 4, because that's sort of worst case scenario, they're 8 points ahead of United in 5th with 8 games left. You just kind of need to keep the results ticking over.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, Leicester have got Brighton, Everton, Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Bournemouth coming up in the league. So yeah, they should. Well, there should be comfortable games to win, but Leicester seem to, every so often they seem to kind of drop the ball a bit. I think they have this season. So West Ham and Aston Villa, they again dropped points. Villa, from a winning position, they went 1-0 up against Chelsea.
Yes, so I was watching the game and it was basically on the stroke of half time. Another first half with little events until just before half time. And it was a bit of a sloppy goal, but when you're fighting down the bottom, you'll take absolutely anything.
Yeah.
And yes, they go in 1-0 half time. And it wasn't actually until quite a bit later on in the second half that Chelsea came out really. Because I think the introduction of Pulisic made a big difference. He scored the first goal and he was involved. He didn't get the assist, but he was involved with the second goal.
Yeah.
And he just kind of livened up the game, and Chelsea got what could have been. Well, they rescued some points because they could have very easily dropped points there.
Yeah, Aspilicueta, I think, had a very good game that game. He created, playing right back, makes you right back, he created a lot down the wing. Chelsea had a decent game. I said that, I just think Villa, I believe they're, do I think they're down? Because it's a difficult, because when you talk about West Ham, now, the Wolves beat them quite comfortably again.
Yes.
Fabianski's tweet was fantastic this morning. Did you see it?
I don't think I did, no.
Fabianski tweeted a picture of him taking a goal kick saying, "Wolves take the 3 points." Like, okay. Okay. Why would you tweet that?
Right, okay.
Why are you tweeting that?
No, I didn't see that.
You're the one that, you play for West Ham and you conceded those goals, but okay. Maybe we know where he's off to next season if West Ham get relegated. He's just bring him in, Ruddy. Well, I think Ruddy signed a new 1-year contract, so that's fair enough. But I think Jimenez is such a good striker.
He's fantastic, yeah. I think with the goal that he scored yesterday, he became Wolves' Premier League top goal scorer.
Oh, did he really?
And he's been there for 2 seasons, and he's already really a club hero. I remember he scored at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final last season.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous of Wolves, really. They've got a great little club going on. They buy really well.
Yeah.
And because obviously they bought Ruben Neves while in the Championship. Then
that's a good point,
You bring in Patricio as well in goal, which is one of those goalkeepers which you'd expect to go to a bigger club than Wolves, in fairness.
No disrespect, but I get what you're saying,
Then Jimenez is a fantastic signing.
Brilliant.
They had Jota in the Championship. Yeah. Obviously, João Moutinho playing alongside Neves.
Yeah.
One that I really like, he's very young, he might even still be a teenager, is Pedro Neto.
Yeah,
Fantastic player. Yeah.
He scored as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I just remember, I think they played Liverpool away earlier in the season and he scored a goal which was only just offside and he was celebrating like it was the best night of his life.
Oh, yes.
But,
that was, I saw it.
But I think they've got a fantastic side, and I know that they've said the Europa League's coming back this week. They announced that, and I can see Wolves reaching the latter stages of it. And if they don't get a top 4, top 5 place to get the Champions League, they're in with a good shout to get that through winning the Europa League.
Every chance. I completely agree. They're just one of those teams, aren't they? They're just, I don't know if they're just one of those. I don't know how to describe them other than they are just one of those teams. That seem difficult to beat.
I'm jealous of Wolves fans. They've got a great club going on there.
But so when we look at the, just to round off the Premier League this weekend, it's been obviously a little bit slow to start. We expect that, first game in 3 months. Liverpool, still sitting very comfortably top of the league. The points between Man United in 5th And Arsenal in 10th are
Right.
6 points.
Right, okay.
And that includes Crystal Palace, Tottenham, Sheffield United and Wolves. Crystal Palace,
Crystal Palace could mounting a very serious sort of charge for a Europa League place. I think they're well within. There's a good chance that Crystal Palace could be playing in Europe next season.
They've got a decent squad, arguably the best Spanish keeper in the league.
Oh, controversy. But yeah, because they've now won their last 4 games without conceding. Now, okay, that does go back to mid-February, but still, they've won their last 4 games without conceding, and I think it's fair to just have a little moment just reflecting on how good Roy Hodgson has been for Crystal Palace, because he came in after 4 games after they had, I can't even think of his name anymore, Frank de Boer.
Oh, yeah.
He came in after 4 games where they'd lost all 4 games without scoring, and people were saying in August they're already down. And he came in, they've got them safe, and a couple of years later, there's a real chance that they could be playing Europa League football.
Very true, very true. And then when we look at the bottom of the league, 15th down to 18th, 5 points in it. Bournemouth sitting in 18th on 27 points, level with West Ham on 27, only by 3 goal difference.
Right.
And then you've got Watford on 28 and Brighton on 32. So that win against Arsenal really, really helped Brighton there. So Norwich still, right at the bottom of the league. I think pretty much written there that they're down. It's a shame. They've been great, but I think it's pretty much done for them. Yeah. Along with the Premier League returning, we're going. We have to mention it, Elliot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Championship has returned. For some, it's a happy time. For Elliot,
it is not.
It is not a happy time. So we will start, obviously being the Hull fan, we will start there. Yeah, Hull are now in the relegation zone.
So it's the first time we've been in the relegation zone all season, and it's been a long time coming, to be honest. I think we're now 12 league games with only 1 point, and I mean, that's not even relegation form. That's like kind of dead in the ground form. But yeah, so I watched the game, and to be honest, I was surprised that this wasn't chosen to be one of the televised games, because it was a massive game. Loser goes into the bottom 3. And so I watched the game. We paid for a stream, and that's money wasted. But I mean, first of all, I just want to highlight that the one sort of outstanding positive from that game was that Angus MacDonald returned to the pitch after 2 years and fight with cancer. So,
amazing. I completely agree.
To be fair to him, he was our best player on the pitch. But then you come to talk about the 90 minutes. Going forward, I think the biggest highlight was John Terrell had an effort which went off his shoulder and went about 6 yards wide. From what I remember, actually Martin Samuelson had a shot at goal with 5 minutes to play. I think that was the first time that their keeper had the ball in his hands.
Wow.
Yeah, just absolute lack of creativity. We've obviously lost a handful of players already, and it's to be expected when we sell Kamil Krasicki, we sell Jarrod Bowen, who were arguably at the time 2 of the best, at least wingers in the league, if not players. Yep. And so we're losing 2 goals a game, and there's no creativity to get any goals anymore. And I can't see us coming out of the relegation zone. I think.
You think that's it?
You look at our form. We've got 1 point since New Year's Day.
Yeah. That's not
I just don't think there's any coming back. We've got some big games. We've got Middlesbrough, who are still right down there.
Yeah.
I think they're level on points with us because they lost 3-0 to Swansea.
They did, Ryan Brewster getting a couple goals
Brewster,
in a few minutes there. He played very well.
But we've still got them to play. We've still got Luton to play. But the teams around us are fighting and we're not, and I can see exactly why the club wanted to push to avoid the league, because football's returned and I don't see any way back for us now.
No, just looking at your next fixtures, you've got Birmingham away.
Yeah,
I say away. It's difficult if home or away advantages takes into play with no fans. For the sake of it, you've got Birmingham away, Middlesbrough at home, West Brom away, Bristol City away, Millwall, who are semi up there away, at home, away to Wigan, and then home to Luton and away to Cardiff to finish the season.
No,
that's not an incredible run-in. Looking at the teams that you're facing, where they want to be,
and the difficult thing is, Birmingham aside, we don't have any of those mid-table teams that have nothing to play for. They're either fighting for the playoffs. In West Brom's case, they're fighting for automatic promotion and the title, and then Luton, Borough, Wigan, they're all fighting to stay up, although Wigan had a big result, and I expect them to stay up.
Yeah, no, it's difficult. From a Gillingham fan, if you listen to our second or third podcast, I can't remember which one it was mentioned in, where I mentioned that one of the dream games will be me and you in the different ends.
Yes.
It's looking increasingly likely that next season, me and you, for 2 games, will be in separate ends, provided they let fans in.
Yeah, we might be at separate ends of a garden.
Yes, yeah. You sit on one end of the sofa, I'll sit on the other end.
Yeah, but yeah, it has been a long time coming, and because since dropping out the Premier League, we've been replacing big name players, Harry Maguire's, Andy Robertson's, that kind of player with League One players. And okay, they're decent League One players, but if you buy enough League One players, you're going to end up in League One, and it looks like we're going to.
Yeah, that's true. And Grant McCann, it's a different. I think obviously with this final stage of the season, I don't think you can sack managers.
Yeah,
it would be very, very difficult to. But do you think Hull lost that game in March when it was supposed to be played? Do you reckon that would have been the end of McCann?
Yes, I think he was on a fine line anyway because of you look at our form.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I still wouldn't be massively surprised if he were to leave before the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because you just kind of need to introduce something to try and get the players going.
But who?
On our budget, I don't know. I could see it just being one of the internal coaches.
Caretaker to the end.
Yeah, but we need someone like a Neil Warnock. We need someone who's going to fire them up, and you've got half dozen games, just get them fired up and get them battling for every game.
Got to die for 3 points.
You're taking a word out there.
Well, keep it PG.
Yeah. Yes.
Interestingly, obviously, with Hull losing, dropping points for the relegation, West Brom, Leeds both dropping points.
Yes.
West Brom drawing 0-0.
The
Birmingham, and Leeds losing 2-0 to Cardiff.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, is it happening again for Leeds?
Looking at this stage of the season, second on 71 points, level. Yeah. Let's just, for argument's sake, they are still joint top, essentially.
Yes. Yeah,
but goal difference.
Top.
Yeah, they're second. Fulham are in third with 64 points. Mm-hmm. So they are 7 points off playoffs. Now, I think they are top 2.
Yeah.
I think Leeds are finishing top 2.
Yeah.
Whether they'll win the league or not, I don't know. For betting purposes, again, responsible. But for betting purposes, I've obviously gone West Brom to win the league. I think they'll go up, win it. So I'd very much like to see Leeds in second. Mm-hmm. If it does happen again, if it happens again, what do you do?
If Leeds don't get promoted this season, they've well and truly outdone themselves, to be honest.
What do you do? Where do you go? What do you replace? Because their squad is good. Their manager is Guardiola and Pochettino have nothing but great words to say about Bielsa. And those two top managers. Where do you go?
You'd start thinking, is the club cursed, really? But yeah, it's a tough one. But yeah, I still expect Leeds to finish top 2. But interestingly enough, this upcoming weekend, Leeds play Fulham, who are third, and West Brom play Brentford, which is first versus fourth. So that is a big game, and that's a big game for not just automatic, but for the title. And yeah, I mean, if Fulham go and get a win against Leeds, they're 4 points off automatic, and at that stage you're thinking, are the Leeds players starting to doubt it mentally? Are they going to be strong enough to see the season out?
No, that's very true. When you coming on to Fulham and Brentford, obviously they played each other at the weekend.
Yeah,
Brentford kind of just scored. It was like, hold on, what? Because Fulham, I feel, were very, very comfortable with the ball, more comfortable. Looked like they were the team likely to come away from the game with 3 points. But Berahami, who's obviously linked with Chelsea, I believe. I think he's.
So Ben Rama. Yes, I think he's, particularly since Bowen left the league, and that might be a bit biased, but I think Said Ben Rama is the best player in the league. Technically, he's absolutely phenomenal. Yeah,
it was a cross back post, and I think he got there, and then Brentford scored the second, which puts them 1 point behind Fulham in third. I think they are comfortably in the playoffs. I think 57. Yeah, there's 6 points. 6 points in the playoffs. So it's not too bad. What's interesting about these playoffs, I think, is that from 7th down to 12th, there is literally 3 points in it.
Right. Yeah.
And Preston are holding that 6th spot with 57 points. And then down to 12th, it's 54. When you look at those teams from 7th to 12th, first of all, Blackburn are 1 point off the playoffs places.
Yeah, they've kind of sort of snuck under the radar.
They've really come under the radar.
They've got a decent squad together, Blackburn. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Adam Armstrong. He's well, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of him when he scored against us, but he's a good player. And they've got a
Bias to Bradley Dack?
yes, Bradley Dack,
Yeah.
and they've also got a centre back, Darragh Lenihan, who
Okay.
big things are said about him. He's not particularly young anymore. I think he's sort of 25, 26, but he's a good Championship centre back. Very good.
Yeah, and Swansea, they let their foot off the gas a little bit, I think, this season. They were like flying high for a lot, and I think when you look at them, they've got 14 wins and 14 draws. Like, I feel like they've drawn quite a lot of games, but they're still, they're 1 point off the playoffs. Bristol City are 2 points off the playoffs in 10th. Bristol City.
That could have been different
Millwall.
if Bristol had beaten, if Bristol City had beaten Blackburn at the weekend.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, they could have been in sixth, because I think what happened with Preston? They drew 1-1 to Luton.
They drew with
bottom of the
Luton.
league.
Yeah, you'd expect them to win that.
That's it. I said Millwall all of a sudden are kind of fighting around that playoff spot. And Derby, who before January hadn't got a prayer, they were fighting relegation at one point. I think they were very close.
They were a club statement FC this season, weren't they?
The amount of corner flag club statements that they posted on Twitter compared to wins was ridiculous. However, they are 3 points off playoffs.
Yeah, and just a quick mention for youngster Lewis Sibley.
Yes.
So the lad's 18. He actually shares a birthday with me. Fun fact.
I can sleep better now knowing that.
So he's played 2 games, or he started 2 games for Derby County in the league. And so before lockdown, a million moons ago, he scored in a 3-0 win against Blackburn.
Yeah.
And then obviously he comes back, and now he's scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
And incredible. He's going to be a big name.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know you were talking about him at the weekend. You want to keep an eye on him because you think...
Yeah, because I follow a few Derby fans on Twitter, and I saw one of them say midweek before the match that it's crazy that that Derby County have got England's record goal scorer ever, and they're more excited to see some 18-year-old lad, some 18-year-old local lad, and well, that's
good to
right,
see though. I like that. He's obviously local lad 18, and he's excited. He wants to play for Derby, and he's scoring a hat-trick. That's a good statement and half there. So no, fair enough. I said Derby there. So the playoffs is really one to watch, I think, in the Championship because of just how tight it is. Obviously, relegation-wise, Luton, who Nathan Jones has come back to manage, Barnsley and Hull occupy those at the moment. It's in Middlesbrough, level on points with Hull, only 2 goals difference in it. And you've got Huddersfield, Charlton and Stoke all within 2 points of that relegation spot.
The thing with Borough is that, okay, they're a club that I'd say is maybe a similar size to Hull City. They've got the recent Premier League history, but Borough have a better squad than us. They've retained more players. They've spent more money on the squad. Now, I think, although don't rate Grant McCann massively, I think we've got a better manager than Middlesbrough do in Jonathan Woodgate.
Right, okay. No, that's fair enough. Just had a quick look at the table. I just wanted to have a quick look while you were talking. And Hull have conceded the second most in the league.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Because for a lot of the season, we've had Geordie Device, who's now our new captain, out injured. And we were winning. It was one of those, we would win the games if he'd play, and we'd lose if he didn't. Yeah. And, well, since he's come back, we're still losing. But yeah. One thing is, I can't see Luton really escaping, but I can see Barnsley escaping. It's 4 points, but they won away at QPR this weekend, and I seem to remember that from the friendlies, I know it's only a friendly, but I think they beat Sheffield United.
Okay.
So I think that there's a little bit of momentum behind them, and they've got a tough end to the season with Leeds, Forest and Brent, but there's the chance to get points in the next half dozen games. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So it's Championship. I think it's probably going to be, could be slightly controversial here, but I think Championship would be more of an exciting watch than the Premier League. I think Premier League, I feel like obviously title's pretty much done. Relegation the relegation fight is still there, but Championship, as I said, playoffs and title winning and relegation as well, there's still all to play for in that league. So, and I think sometimes Championship games, they on a Sunday where you've got that midday Championship game, then you go to the Super Six. Sometimes that Championship game is miles ahead of Premier League. So I don't think it gets watched enough. I don't think there's enough EFL coverage. Yeah, I think it is a very exciting league.
Yeah, and don't want to be too biased. Obviously, Hull and Gillingham, but
there is a genuine feeling that the bottom can beat top in the Championship, whereas it's maybe not so likely in the Premier League.
No.
But
that's
one last moment to touch on from the Championship this weekend is I was watching, along with having the stream of the Hull City Charlton game, I was watching Sky Sports News 3:00 with Jeff and the boys.
Jeff and the boys.
And they had the reporter at Luton versus Preston, and they said that the over the PA system they were playing crowd noise actually inside the stadium. And the funny thing was that they said whoever was in charge of it was getting them to boo whenever the referee was doing decisions against Luton.
I like that. Yeah, it's a story. Did you see the Ben Foster story that came out where he said that they were having a training game with the having a quick training game. One of the coaches was the referee, and they were playing with crowd noises, and he was having a shocking game. So the person over the crowd noises started playing the referees. No one saw it coming. Everyone was like apparently rolling on the floor laughing. Even the ref was laughing. But I love that. I think it's brilliant. And obviously, just to end the English football coverage, League Two playoffs did start. Colchester winning 1-0 at Exeter. Against Exeter, not at Exeter. And Cheltenham winning 2-0 at Northampton. Still, I think the Colchester game's still all to play for. I know Exeter have got their cardboard cut out of the fans, which looks quite good. So it's still definitely all to play for in that game. Exeter, when you look at the stats, possession-wise, they were on top. They had a few chances. Not any shots on target, though. But you can't... Colchester's the free kick that won them the game. Oh...
It was a good free kick, but I do feel the keeper should have done a little bit better. He palmed it into the goal rather than palming it out. But it was a good goal to win a game.
No, exactly right. He got it up and over. It was to try a shot from there. Credit. Yeah. Fair enough. Good. Fair enough. I don't think the keeper fully. Well, I think he was expecting a cross, which everyone was. So like that. Cheltenham at Northampton. Cheltenham feel like kind of deserved that. They had 4 shots on target, more possession. Didn't create as many chances as Northampton. However, they scored in the first half, scored in the second half. Good 2-0 win for them. Said the keeper, I think, from what I remember watching, Cheltenham's keeper had a stonking game. Yeah,
Owen Evans, I think he's on loan from Wigan at the moment. But he had a fantastic game. He saved a penalty. He made some brilliant saves. Yeah. Sort of, I think of them as sort of Dean Henderson saves where they're far away and you're pushing your whole body to push it away. Yeah, he had a fantastic game. Got them a clean sheet. I was slightly disappointed that neither of the young Hull City lads came on, but obviously they done what's best for the team and they won the game. Even the cardboard cutout of Shaquille O'Neal couldn't block those two goals.
No, that's right. Yeah, he's got a couple. What a weird endorsement.
Who'd have thought Shaq was a Northampton fan?
But when obviously everyone's listening to this on Tuesday, the second legs would have already been played, so we will know the final. I went for Exeter to go up in League Two. You went for Cheltenham.
I went for Cheltenham, yeah.
Looking good for you. Need a big win from my boys.
But he's back at Exeter, so...
Yes, exactly.
There is a chance.
Cardboard cutout fans.
Yes.
Cheering them on. But yeah, that's pretty much the roundup. That's pretty much everything
that's
that happened in England, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just going to very quickly round up. Obviously, there's still football going on in Europe. We haven't forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Bayern won the league. I think we saw that coming a while ago.
Yeah, definitely. Ever since they beat Dortmund, it's been looking like it's a matter of when, not if.
No, that's right, yeah. So they won 3-1 at Freiburg. Lewandowski scoring even more goals. And Haaland scored as well, didn't he, against Leipzig? Scored 2 goals, actually.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because they're against Leipzig, and if the Premier League weren't on, I feel like a lot of eyes would have been on that game.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it sounds like a good game, but...
An exciting game. They're both sort of 2 attacking teams, yeah.
Generally forgot they were on.
Yeah.
It's, no disrespect, but, Premier League's back, come on.
Yeah.
And Barcelona dropped some points, didn't they?
Yes. So they drew 0-0 with Seville the other night. So that's opened up the Spanish title race because Real Madrid won midweek. Benzema scoring a fantastic goal.
Oh, yes.
Dinking it over the defender and then volleying it. I think it had gone into the net, bounced onto the floor by the time the keeper could even react. The force behind that strike was phenomenal. And then Real Madrid winning on Sunday night as well.
All right, you stomped on what I was about to say there, because at time of recording, Real Madrid are 2-0 up. Yeah, they're going to win the game.
It's 79 minutes in. I'm going with the win.
No, that's fine. We'll stick with Elliot's thing, but obviously at time of recording, they are 2-0 up and they are top of the league at time of recording. So, ooh.
Interesting.
That really, really heats it up. Obviously, Atletico are third with 52 points and first and second 65. So, it's very much Barcelona, Real Madrid. But no, Elliot's confident. So, yeah, there you go. They won 2-0. Congrats.
Then Serie A's returned this week. The title race is still close between Juventus and Lazio, and that's another one just to sort of keep an eye on with all this football going on.
No, very true. Just to very, very quickly mention is that in the La Liga, is that Celta Vigo needed to make an emergency signing because their second backup goalkeeper was going to be out for the season. They signed a striker. They won 6-0 today.
Yeah, so I don't think they've scored in 4 previous games, and they find themselves 4-0 up at half time.
That's it. They won 6-0 today. No, that's an emergency signing. He even scored. And Elite scored a pen, so no, fair play. But yes, sorry, I stood on what you were going to say.
So finally from Europe this week. Now, we don't normally touch on the Russian league.
Not really a league we like to talk about.
There was quite the story this week. So Rostov were playing a team, I think they're called Sochi, a place which I've only heard of because I think they held the Winter Olympic Games at some point in the last 15 years.
Fair enough.
And yes, so FC Rostov, they've got 46 squad players quarantined because I think 6 or 7 of their players had tested positive. So anyone who'd been in contact had to quarantine. So they were sort of pleading with FC Sochi, can we postpone it? We don't have a squad. And
they said no.
Sochi said, no, we're playing. Yeah. So FC Rostov were forced into playing their under-17s team. Yeah. And I think their oldest team member was 19.
Wow.
And unsurprisingly, Rostov lost 10-1. And I'd just like to do a quick shout out for FC Rostov's goal scorer with a great name, Roman Romanov, scoring for Rostov.
Roman Romanov scoring for Rostov. That is some tongue twister. Yeah. My favourite thing about that Rostov game, they went 1-0 up.
Yeah, it was in the first minute.
They were 1-0 up.
Oh, and come on.
I think Rostov also saved the penalty. The keeper saved the pen.
Right.
But they were 1-0 up, and you've got to think their under-17s are probably going, yes.
Yeah. Why haven't we played? Oh, this is why. Fantastic.
We just wanted to very quickly mention there was a couple of transfer news this week. Timo Werner confirmed to have signed for Chelsea. Don't get me wrong. Incredible signing. Huge for Chelsea with Ziyech as well. And they want Chilwell and they want Havertz, so they've got some intent. I've never seen a team so excited and happy to lose a player than Leipzig's Twitter.
Yeah. It was quite nice because obviously they're wishing him well. But it was almost like, yeah, go on then.
Yeah, you have him. Yeah, go on, yeah.
I mean, he's a quality player, so why are you happy you're losing him?
Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. But, no, incredible. That is intent. Fantastic. That is real intent next season. So if they get champions, Chelsea do hold on and get the Champions League, Ziyech and Havertz.
I think instead of Havertz, I think they should prioritise another centre back. Because you think if they do bring in like someone like a Chilwell at left back, they massively rate Reece James at right back. Then if you stick either Tomori or Rudiger with a quality centre back, like the numbers that you're talking for Havertz, if you put that into someone like a Koulibaly from Napoli, have that. They've got a strong midfield.
Yeah.
And then with the attack that they've just brought in with Ziyech and Werner, where they could be challenging Liverpool or Man City for next season.
Where are you putting Azpilicueta then?
Wherever someone's injured.
Well, I think he's too consistent.
No, I understand. Yeah,
would you put him as the centre-back? He plays anywhere across that back four.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one.
I know what you mean.
I think they need a strong sort of first-team, world-class centre-back.
No, that's fair enough. And obviously, Joe Hart, Burnley, came out and said that we're not accepting this contract. He's free to leave. Now, if you told me, like 5 or 6 years ago, that Joe Hart was going to be released by Burnley, you'd think, Joe Hart, 4 Golden Gloves Premier League winner Joe Hart. Really? Oh, I feel for him. He's had such a down. It was Guardiola kind of came and said, "You can't kick, get out of my squad."
Guardiola's ruined his career.
Yeah,
essentially.
It's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, the big question would be his next club, and I don't know whether he'd go to a Championship team, get promoted. Like I know you messaged me earlier today saying you can maybe see him at Leeds.
Yeah, someone like Leeds, or
I don't know whether he'd drop down to the Championship or whether that's not yet.
Yeah, or you look at teams. You see me look at teams like Southampton or Newcastle.
But even as those,
have they got backups?
Yeah,
I can only see Joe Hart in a backup keeper role, and that's just it's so weird thinking of Joe Hart like that.
Could you see him maybe going out to America? Maybe working for David Beckham's Miami?
Oh, yeah, into Miami. Yeah, no, that's a fair shout.
I don't think he's particularly old for a goalkeeper.
Joe Hart is 33.
in goalkeeper terms, that's sort of middle of your
Couple
career.
of
That's
years.
kind
I
of
think a couple of years. I think he's got a couple of years left in the Premier. That's the age where you've got a couple of years left in the Premier League, and then you probably look maybe back up, settling down somewhere. But no, he's not exactly unknown to go abroad. He went to Torino.
Yeah.
It's not a good example because he didn't do very well there. But
No.
But no, he obviously then went to West Ham on loan and didn't do well there. He's gone to Burnley. Hasn't exactly, Nick Pope and Tom Heaton just kept him out.
I mean,
third choice keeper at Burnley.
Yeah. Obviously, Heaton's moved on to Aston Villa, but he spent a long time as third choice keeper.
No, that's right, and it's a shame. It's a shame to see it because he's in his day.
He's had some fantastic games. I remember one against Barcelona. I think he saved a penalty and he had a brilliant game. I think that was the same game that Lionel Messi ruined James Milner's life.
Right, yeah. That's fair. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where he goes next. And so we come to the end of the podcast, to No Context News, where me and Elliot challenge each other to find the most random news headlines from around the world to really make us think. I don't know what Elliot goes for, and vice versa. He doesn't know what I go for. We just say the headline and we end the podcast. This week is Elliot's turn. So, Elliot, you take it away.
So, once again, I think last time I did No Context News, I chose this same publication. So, as the kind of font of all knowledge from Hull Live this week, the headline is simply, Tipping Point's Ben Shepherd in complete awe at luckiest moment ever that leaves viewers astonished.
What is it?
I couldn't tell you. Simply because I don't know. So thank you for listening. Please follow us on Twitter. We are at TO Goal Podcast on Twitter. If you'd please give us a follow. And we will speak to you next week. I've been Elliot.
And I've been Sam.
We'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks. Bye.